Okay, dear students, this is the 7th video, and in this video we are going to continue talking about word formation processes. You remember from last time that when we talked about productivity, we said that humans can increase or add to the words or to the linguistic repertoire, their linguistic repertoire, either by bringing a new word into existence or by bringing that word into existence, a new word into existence, by manipulating their linguistic repertoire or resource. They manipulate. You remember when we gave the example of a snake and an eagle? We said that monkey couldn't create a new signal in which it combines the two signals, these two signals. They are the chatter or up. It cannot give chatter up. Okay, it cannot. This is the we call it productivity. They cannot create. They cannot combine signals together in order to give a new signal. Human beings, on the other hand, no, they can. They can combine words to create a new word. So you remember that the word we were talking about is that flying. We have a flying, for example. This is one word, an adjective. Then we have snake. This is one word. This is another word. Then we are going to combine these to give us what? A flying snake. Animals, that monkey cannot, for example, chatter, C-H-U-T-T-E-R, say, for example, flying, and rub, R-U-P-P, which is for snake. Okay, it depends. They cannot put these two signals together in order to give a word, a compound word, that is what flying snake. They cannot make chatter, C-H-U-T-T-E-R, and then R-U-P-P. They cannot make a signal like this, just like the compound word made by human beings. What is it? Flying snake. So they don't have compounding. And we said that compounding is one of the aspects of productivity by means of which humans or man can increase or add to its language. Now, why do we, repeating myself, why do we add new words? Why do we? Because every day we face new things. We face a new object, new situations. Things are created. Okay, things are discovered. So these things, whether they are created or discovered, they need to be given a word, given a name to that thing. So where do we get it from? Either we said we borrowed it, or we borrowed that word and then we translate it. We call it loan translation, or we combine two words together to create a new word. Like in this flying snake, like for example, data show, or database. That's one word. See? What do we call this process? We call it compounding. Okay. Now here, I'd like to say something very interesting. That is, you see, I was reading just browsing the dictionary, and then I came across this word. This word is tzat, T-Z-A-T, tzat, tzat, Z-K-I. Tzat, Z-K. And they're pronounced like this. Tzat. Tzat, Ziki. Here, there's Tzat, one syllable. Tsi, another syllable. Tsi, and Ki, third syllable. So this word has 3 syllables. Now this word, Tzat, Ziki, means a food which is made by mixing what? Yogurt, zabadi, cucumber, khiyar, and garlic together. We mix them together, and that gives me a food. That food is called tzat ziki in English. We borrowed this word into Iraqi colloquial Arabic, and then it became like this, jajik. So this word is originally taken from Greek. It's borrowed by English, and Arabic borrowed this word, this Greek word, which is written in English as T-Z-A-T-Z-I-K-I. It is pronounced tzat ziki. We borrowed this word from English, not from Latin. So indirectly from from Greek, directly from English. What do we call it? We give it the name Jajik. So how much phonological changes has the word undergone? How much phonological changes has been done to the word tzat zik in order to be jajik? You see, there is no j here. We added j. In Arabic, we call it j. It means the same. So this is here. The word jajik is not created like this. We do not have it already. We do not have it, but we borrowed it into Arabic. In the same way, meanwhile, at the same time, English borrowed this word tzat ziki from Greek. So see, English borrowed from Greek, Arabic borrowed from English. So this here we have bring word into existence into Arabic by borrowing it from English. Here we do not. English does not borrow. No, English create a new word by combining 2 words which are already found in English, and then put them together. It gives you what? A new word. Data, show, and this word in turn bitali is borrowed into Arabic, or this word, database, base, قاعدة, and data, bayanat. Okay, right. So here, this word, we can say that in Arabic, it is can be looked at from 2 angles. One angle is that we borrowed database as an idiom. We translated into Arabic. Here, the word قاعدة بيانات, بينما here in English database, يعني بيانات قاعدة, but we did some changes to the word in order to be Arabic. So this word can be looked at from 2 angles. One, it is loan translation. We borrowed this term from English. We translated it. Other one, if we look at it from this angle, we said that here we have what? Loan translation. Another way of looking at this is that here already in Arabic we have قاعدة, we have bayanat. We put these two words together and it has given me a new word. What is that? قاعدة bayanat, a compound word. Right. Today I'm going to continue talking about what? Talking about word formation processes. The fourth process is called clipping. Now, what do you mean by clipping? Clip means cut. Clip means cut or reduce. Clip means cut or reduce. Now, what does that mean? In this process, what happens to word? With the process, it is defined like this: the process of reducing a word. Reduce a word of more than one syllable, a word which has more than one syllable. We reduce it to a shorter form. We reduce it to what? To a shorter form. Okay. Let me start from Arabic. Or before that, in Arabic or in English, we have what we call nail clipper. Nail clipper. Now, what do you mean by nail clipper? Nail clipper is an piece of equipment. We use it to cut our nails when they are long. You see, this is Sunnah. Every Friday, we cut. How do we cut them? We do not cut the whole finger, but we just cut. We reduce the nails. We cut, we remove the long part of the of the nail. So what do we do to it? We reduce or we remove the longer part of the nail. We remove it by using what? Nail clipper. So when we clip our nails, we are going to remove the longer part of the nail. Here also, what do? We are going to reduce the word. Reduce the word. Reduce it. Okay. We reduce the word, we remove from the word. Remove from the word. Something from the word, we remove it. How do we remove this? Let me start in Arabic or from Arabic, or let my example be in Arabic first in order to clarify the point. You see, when you talk about hadith or saying by Prophet Muhammad, he says narrate. For example, حدثنا. Sometimes, you see, I have seen this in books. They do not say حدثنا. They sometimes, what do? They remove this part of the word. Oh, yes, they move. And they remove it or they delete it. They cut it, they reduce the word حدثنا by removing or by deleting this, the ha and the dal, and then we are left with what? With thana. But the question here is, are we going to change the meaning of the word when we reduce it? No, the meaning is not changed. The meaning is, that is the meaning, the same meaning. You see, this is a very important point we have to take care of. Let's come to Arabic. We have, for example, Professor. Professor. Now, we are going to remove this, cut this word, reduce it. So here we have reduction. Okay? We have reduction. And remember that the reduction witnessed reduction, as you remember, in break and fast. Breakfast, sorry, and the word what? Lunch. You remember this in the word what we call the process before this process we have blending, if you remember. Now what do we have here? We take the first two letters and then the last or the end of the second word. So when we put these, see, we delete this and we delete this, and we are left with what? Brunch. Here it gives me another meaning. Gives me another meaning. Breakfast and lunch, and there is what? Brunch. This is also a meal which is between a breakfast and what? Like the meaning here is different. But in the case of a clipping, when we have, for example, professor, when we clip the word professor, and we cut this word, we reduce it, we are left with the prof. Is the meaning changed here? No, the meaning is not changed. What about the meaning here? We are also having, we also reduce the words here. We just take the beginning of the first word and the end of the second word. You see the word EAKFAST, we have removed them, we deleted them, because we have reduced the word. Also here we have reduced the word by deleting the L. Then the beginning of the first word and the final or the end of the second word gives me a new word. This word is blended. Blended. Here we, as I repeat myself, that here we witness that the meaning of the word that results from blending has a new meaning. Here in clipping, we also reduce the word, but the meaning here is not changed. The meaning is that's it. That's it. Take for example the word laboratory, laboratory. We are going to clip the word, reduce the word. We have what? Lab. Okay, more examples. We can take them from the book. More examples we can take them from the book. Is this? You have this in your book, gasoline, for example. Gasoline. Gas. We are going to clip this word. We remove this, reduce it. We are left with just GAS. Okay. So see here, we take just the beginning of the word, the initial part of the word, and the rest is dropped. Is the meaning changed? No, it is not changed. You see here in Arabic, also it's the same. We removed the حدثنا, we removed, we reduced, we cut, we deleted what dal, and then we are left with thana. What about the meaning here? Is it changed? No, it is not changed. Thana معناتها means حدثنا. Prof means professor, etc., etc. We have here also we have flu, FLU. Here, no. What happens here? Influenza. Okay, let me take this. Yeah. Influenza. 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 So see here, we are also going to clip this word. But how do we clip this word here? We are going to, here we are going to reduce it, removing this, removing this, and we are left with what? Flew. So it's not always that we what we just keep the beginning of the word. No, sometimes no, the middle of the word, as in influenza. So this is what we mean by clipping. Now I have here some nouns, some names, proper names, asma alam, for example. They are also clipped. For example, here Liz is a clipped form of Elizabeth. See, Liz, the middle. We move this, we move this. AL, Alabama. We have just this. This is removed. Also, we have Sam. Sam is a reduced form of Samuel, Samuel. Also Tom. It is from Thomas, Thomas. So I repeat myself that here in the clipping it's a process of reducing a word of more than one syllable to a shorter form. Now, before I leave this process, I haven't or I have forgotten to say something. What is it? It's very important. What is it? You see, here we have influenza. Now, when we reduce this word, we have created a new word, that is what? Flu. So we have flu is a new word which has come as a result of what? Reducing the word influenza, removing the initial letters IN and also ENZA, the final letters. Then the letters in the middle, they have been left. That gives me what? A new word. Similarly, the word laboratory or gasoline. See gasoline. We have gasoline, one word. Then we removed the OLINE. We left it. We dropped it. We have a new word. That is what? Gasoline. Similarly, laboratory. The word laboratory, LABORATOR. Laboratory is a word. Now, when we remove the ORATORY, we have created a new word, that is what? LAB, which has come as a result of what? Clipping the word laboratory into what? Lab. Similarly, professor. We have a prof, a new word, and we have what? Professor. So this is what we mean by what? By clipping. Okay. So we have created now a new word by what? By clipping the word. Clipping, we reduce the number, that word which is more than one syllable. Professor, 3 syllables. We have reduced it into 1 syllable. Similarly, laboratory, 4 syllables. We have reduced it to be 1 syllable. Similarly, what? Similarly, influenza, influenza, 4 syllables. We have reduced it to be what? Flu, 1 syllable. Okay. So this is concerning what? Concerning clipping. Let's see what the other what process. Okay. Okay, now let's continue with the 5th process, which is, as you can see in front of you, hypochorisms. Now, hypocorisms is also is related to the process called clipping, which I have just talked about. In what sense? In the sense that we are going to reduce this word. The same thing that we that happened in the word undergoes تخضع إلى rejection, and here also the word undergoes تخضع إلى reduction, تقليل باختزال الكلمة, reducing the number of syllables. There we said a word which is in a clipping, a word which is with more than one syllable, says 2 syllables, 3 syllables, it is reduced to one syllable. Professor, professor, 3 syllables. We reduce them into pro, 1 syllable. Here also we are going, as he says in the book, a particular type of reduction, a particular type. يعني نوع خاص من تقليص الكلمة, particular type. Why is it particular? يقول هذا this is favored in Australian English, British English also. Produces what forms technically now known as hypocorisms. In this process, a longer word is reduced to a single syllable, 1 syllable. And after we reduce it, we add something to it. We add the suffix what? EY or IE. So then this process is a particular type of reduction. Why? It is a particular type of reduction because we reduce the word into 1 syllable. Maybe here there is no difference between hypocorisms and clipping. But what is particular about this process is that we add Y after we reduce the word into 1 syllable, or we add IE. For example, we have bar, B-A-R, barbecue, bar, B-A-R, B-E-C-U-E, B-A-R, B-E-C-U-E, barbecue, da, barbecue, say barbecue, syllable here. This is syllable is stressed, barbecue. We do not say barbecue, no, we say barbecue, no, barbecue. How many syllables do we have here? We have 1, we have 2, we have 3 syllables. Now we are going to reduce it into B-A-R-B, Bob, 1 syllable. Then what do? We add I-E. So what characterizes this type of reduction here, or this process, is that we reduce the word. Here we have reduced the word Bob. But what do? We add IE. So any word that like this, where we have IE at the end, after we have reduced the whole word into 1 syllable. See here we have 3 syllables, barbecue. We reduce the word into Bob, B. Bar, B. Now it's going to be 2 syllables because we have added IE. Okay, fine. So now what is the difference between hypocorisms and clipping, which we have just talked about, is that in both processes we are going to reduce the word, but the difference is that we add IE here at the end or to the end of the word after we reduce it into 1 syllable. Either IE or just we add Y. Y or IE or Y. For example, take the word television, T-L-E-V-I-S-I. Television, how many syllables do it? Te-li-vi-jin. 4 syllables. Now 5. Te-li-vi-jin. 4 syllables. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these 3, 4 syllables are going to be 1 syllable. Tell, okay? What else? As he says here in the book. So tell, then we do not say television, we say tally. What is tally? In Australian English, in British English also they do not say television, they say telly. They do not say barbecue, say Barbie. Yeah, okay, right. What else? We have biscuits. We have biscuits. Right. Now, what about here? See. Bis. B-I-S. Sorry. Bis. B-I-C-K. B-I-C-K. I-E. Here we have added what? I-E. So when I say I-E at the end, it means this is what? Hypocorism. This word has been reduced from biscuits, it becomes bicky. Big 1 syllable. Then we added what? I-E. Television 4 syllables. We have tell, then we have Y, but we doubled what? The L. Okay. See, for example, another example. Hand or toasty, T-O-A-S-T-I-E, toasty. Toasty. Toasty, it's taken from T-O-A-S-T, toast, and what is the second word that is called? Is sandwich. Sandwich. Toasted sandwich. Toasted, ED here. Sorry. Toasted sandwich. It's a sandwich which has a piece of meat, which is toasted, mashwiya. So this word, toast 1, toasted 2, sandwich, 4 syllables. Now we are going to reduce it into 1. Toast 1, then I-E. So here we have created a new word. What is it? Toasty. We have created a new word here. What is bicky in addition to biscuit? Here also, in addition to television, we have created a new word. That is what? Telly. Also, barbecue is a word. Barbie is another new word. So now this process, what characterizes this process is that we reduce the whole word, the number of syllables, 3, 4 syllables, they are reduced to 1 syllable. But what characterizes this process is that we add IE to the end, or we add what? Y at the end. Examples of IE? Barbie. Examples of Y? Telly. Examples of IE? Toasty. Etc. You can find more examples in the book. This is concerning what? Hypocorisms. So hypocorisms is also we witness the word undergoes تخفى undergoes what? Reduction. But after we reduce the word into 1 syllable, we add this suffix or this addition. What is it? Either IE or Y. And this is considered as a vowel sound. This means that we are going to increase the word into two syllables after we have made it just 1 syllable. Barbie, barbecue, 3 syllables. We reduce them into Bob, 1 syllable. But when we added IE to it, it's going to be what? 2 syllables. This is concerning what characterizes what? Hypocorisms. Right. Okay. Okay, now let's come to the sixth word formation process. As you can see in front of you, back formation. Back formation, I would translate it into formation تشكيل formation تشكيل وباك عكسي أو خلفي تشكيل خلفي أو عكسي Now what do we mean by تشكيل خلفي أو عكسي? In simple words, بكلمات مبسطة, the word back formation, it means we already have a word. And then from that word is what is a noun. And then after that, from that word, we create a word of another type, usually what? A verb. Right. Now, so here, why do we call it back formation? As you know that in English and also in Arabic, the verb comes before the noun. Now we derive the noun from the verb. Okay? We have, for example, you say ضرب يضرب, فتح يفتح, فاتح, for example. طبخ يطبخ, طباخ. Like this. Okay? We say بنى يبني بناء. Right. The noun before the verb. Sorry, the verb before the noun. Take for example this word رجالا وركبانا أو ركبانا. I'm sorry about this. رجالا وركبانا. Now what does this mean رجالا? رجالا here, رجالا معناتها راجلا يعني on foot, being on foot, walking, being on foot. So we have this, first of all, we have رجالا, being on foot, and then from it we take the word يترجل. So here also we have what? Reduction. ركبانا also راكب, راكب, وبعدين يركب, ركبانا, رجالا, ركبانا. Here in English, so the point, I want to emphasize here is that we have, why do we call it تشكيل خلفي? يعني تشكيل خلفي إنه الاسم بعدها يأتي الفعل. يعني مو الفعل ثم الاسم، لا، هنا الاسم بعدها يأتي الفعل، ولذلك it is called what? Back formation. فإحنا هنا عندنا أول مرة كلمة رجالا، يعني رجالا يعني على الرجل، رجالا، أما راجلين، ركبانا راكبين، راكبين بعدين يركب هكذا، رجالا، راجلا معناته من رجل، ومن رجل يترجل. أخذنا أول مرة عندنا رجل وبعدين أخذنا we took what? يترجل. هكذا هي العملية. زين، هذا بالعربي. Let's see an example in English. يعني مثلا ناخذ كلمة television, which we have already faced in hypocorism. We said T-E-L-L, T-E-L-L-Y. You remember this T-E-L-L-Y, telly? معناتها here we have back formation. sorry, hypocorisms, because we have added y at the end after we have contracted the word, after we have reduced the word into one syllable, tell. Then we add y, we double the L, then we add what? Y, telly. You remember barbecue, Barbie. Now what about television here? So television we have already faced in hypocorism. Here we we are going to talk about it from the point of view of what? Back formation. Now what does that mean? Now the question here is which is before which? Is it we have televise, Televise, before television, or we have television before we have televise? This is a good question. Now, which is which? Yani, which word came into existence first, and then what is the word that came from, or that resulted from that word? I mean, what is the original, or what is the first? Is this before this, or this before this? So the verb from the noun, or the noun from the verb? Here, no. Here we have, first of all, we have television. We have, technicians or scientists were able to create, to invent a television. Okay, television. You see the picture of people. Huh? They are far away, you can see their pictures. So, first of all, they invented the television. They invented the television. And after they invented the television, we have the verb televise. So the word televise, or the verb televise, came after the word what? Television. It is the result of television. It is not first we have televise. We cannot televise unless we have what? Television. So in television, we have the noun, and then we have back formation, تشكيل عكسي. What is it? إنه وشكلنا. We made this word televise, we made it from the word what? Television. So we have the noun first, and then what? The verb later. So what do we mean by back formation? By back formation, we mean, first of all, we have the noun, we have a word which is a noun, and then we have another form, another type, usually a verb from that noun. And this process where we have the noun first, and then we derive, or we take the verb from that noun, we call it what? We call it back formation. Another example is the word babysitter or donation. Let's take this. Donation. Donation is the noun. First of all, we have donation. And from donation, we create a new word. What is it? Donate. Other verb. So we took the verb from the noun, not the noun from the verb. That's why we call it what? Back formation. Another example is babysitter. Babysitter. Babysitter means a university girl student, or maybe a boy student. This boy student or girl student, university boy student or girl student, they want to collect money. They want to earn money. So how do they earn money? By working as babysitter. Now, what does it mean, babysitter? Babysitter means, for example, when we have the parents, they both work. They ask for someone who looks after the children in their absence when they are at work. يعني راعية الأطفال اللي ترعى الأطفال when their fathers their parents are at work. So first of all, we have babysitter, as he says here, babysitter, and then from babysitter we are going to have babysit. So we have babysit is a new word which comes from what? From babysitter. So we cannot have babysit unless we have what? Babysitter. So here we have, by means of back formation, we have created a new word, we have added a new word like babysit from babysitter, televise from television, donate from what? Donation. This is what we mean by by back formation. There is also, before I finish, because this is, I hope this is clear, is that we have, as he says here, one very regular source of what we back formed verbs. Here we have back formed words, verbs, sorry. Back form verbs. Now, what does it mean, back form? Back formed verbs. That's our adjective to the word verbs. Back formed verbs. He says here what? He says one very regular source of back formed verbs in English is based on the common pattern work. One very common source of back formed verbs is based on the pattern work. يعني what does that mean؟ الآن أخذ WORKER يقول هذا noun. What do I do? When I delete the ER, I am left with work. So هذا here work هو back formed verb يسمونه. Why? Because it is taken from WOR, a word which has ER or OR at the end. يعني a verb which is taken from a noun which ends in ER or 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 AR, which means the doer of the action, that verb we call it back formed verb. Another example, مثلا أكو عندي SCULPTOR, نحات. So here it ends in what? In OR. The back formed verb من نحات from sculptor هو SCULPT, sculpt. فإذا sculpt ينحت, work يعمل. Okay, but what else? Editor محرر, AEDITOR, محرر. What is the verb from? Edit. إذا هسه edit هو back formed verb from the noun what? From what is the noun? Editor. What does it end in? OR or ER. Also we have beggar, shahad, from which we take what? Beg, yashhad. So now we have created a new word here, beg, edit, sculpt, from what? From nouns. So here in back formation, first we have the nouns, and then we have the verbs that come as a consequence of deleting the OR. This is this suffix at the end of the word. Either we call it sculpt or edit or beg, either we call them what? We call them back formed verb. Why? Because they are existed after the noun. يعني sculpt existed or came into existence after what? After sculptor. This is what we mean by back formation. by back formation. تشكيل خلفي أو عكسي الاسم بعدها يأتي word الverb. So here we have created a new word. Television, first of all, we created a new word by what? By back form the word. What do we, يعني reduce the word. When we reduce this word, we created a new word that works as a verb. So now, the question before I leave this is that reduction is witnessed, or we find it in 4 processes. First of all, where in clipping, in blending بالمزج. Number 2, in clipping. Number 3, in hypocorism, and also in back formation. In all these processes, we reduce the word. But in each time we reduce the word, we reduce it in a different way. The way we reduce the word television here, that gives me televised, is not as we reduce the word television when we talked about hypocorism, that gives me telly. Also, for example, in when I reduce the word professor into prof, I just deleted, I reduced the word which is more than 1 syllable to be in a short form, short form of that word, which is more than 1 syllable, like professor, 3 syllables, it becomes 1 syllable. Laboratory, 4 syllable, laboratory, 4 syllables, they can become 1 syllable. In a blending, we said we have breakfast word, we have lunch, we take only the initial letters, the beginning of the first word, and then the end of the second word, that gives me brunch. Okay, now in blending, the meaning is going to be changed. In clipping, the meaning is not going to be changed. In hypocorism, the meaning is not going to be changed. But here, the meaning is going to be changed. Why? Because instead of donation, we are going to have donate. And the meaning is not. The meaning is different. Why? Because here we have noun. Here we have verb, but there is There is a relationship here between donation and donate. The meaning is not totally, let's say, not totally different. Yes, it is different, but not totally different. They are related. Yeah. I mean, here I stop. And this is, so far we have 6 word formation processes. Next time, God willing, we are going to continue. We are going to finish these processes. Okay. Thank you very much. See you later, God willing.